Hello. In this episode, we figure out how to find cube root of a number without using calculator and using prime factorization. After going through this video, you should be able to solve practice now 5 and exercise 1A, question number 3, parts C and D, and question number 5 independently. The steps for finding cube root are very much similar to the steps for finding the square root. So it is recommended that you have watched episode number 7 already. If you haven't watched episode 7 in which I have explained how to find a square root, it is recommended that you go through that video so that the steps for finding the cube root are clear. The steps for finding the cube root are exactly the same as for finding a square root. However, there are slight changes in step number 2 and step number 3. First step is prime factorization. Step 2 is grouping. Step 3 is taking cube root on both sides. And step 4 is multiply to get the answer. Let's apply these steps to find the cube root of 216. Do you remember the first step? The first step is prime factorization. We break down the number into prime factors. So 216, starting with the smallest prime number, which is 2, 216 divided by 2. What is it? Is it 18? No, this is a mistake majority of the students make. 216 divided by 2 is not 18. In fact, it is 108. Now, 108 divided by 2 is 54. Again, 54 is divisible by 2. So, dividing it by 2, we get 27. 2 is not a factor of 27. So, we move to the next prime number, which is 3. 27 is divisible by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 is again divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And lastly, 3 is divisible by 3 only. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And since we have reached 1, so it means that our prime factorization is complete and we can write the number 216 as a product of its prime factors as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So we are done with the step number 1. So step number 2 is grouping. In square roots, we used to group numbers into twos, into pairs. Whereas in cube root, we group the numbers into 3. We make pairs of 3's and write in index notation. So 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 can be written as 2 cube and 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 can be written as 3 cube. Now we can combine these in a single bracket. Since we are very lazy, we don't want to write this power 3 again and again. So we can write the power once. And what do we get? We get 216 is equal to 2 multiplied by 3 whole cube. At this point, do you remember the great fight between a square root and a square? Who survived? No one. So similarly, when a cube root and a cube fight for survival, they both cancel each other's effect and the numbers are set free. So let's see an example. If we have cube root of 259 cube, then this cube and cube root will cancel each other's effect and we will get 259. So cube root and cube cancels each other effect. So let's move to step number 3. Take cube root on both sides. Write down cube root on the both sides and this cube cancels out this cube root and the numbers within the bracket are set free. So cube root of 216 is equal to 2 multiplied by 3. So the last step is we multiply the numbers together to get the answer, which in this case is 6. So the cube root of 216 is 6. So I hope the steps are clear. The first step for finding cube root is prime factorization. Step 2 is grouping. Step 3 is taking cube root on both sides. And step 4 is multiply to get the answer. At this point, let's compare the method of finding square root and a cube root. First step is same in both cases. Step 2, grouping, is different. In square root, we group the numbers into twos. We group the number so that the power on each number is 2. Whereas for cube root, we group the numbers into threes. We group them such that the power is 3 or power is cube on each number. Third step. In square root, we take square root on both sides, and in cube root, we take cube root on both sides. Cube and cube root symbol or square root symbol, they cancel each other's effect, and in the last step, we multiply to get the answer. This last step is same in both cases. So I hope the method is clear, and I'm sure you can solve practice now 5, exercise 1A, question number 3, parts C and D, and question number 5 independently yourself. Do try them, and if you have any confusion, do comment down below. Stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe it as well. Thank you.